What is up, guys? Back again to do another video. Haven't done a video all season. Obviously, 2020 has been a very chaotic year for all of us with everything that's happened this year, and that's kind of looks like bleeding into 2021. So this year is off to kind of a chaotic start. But some breaking news just happened with the Broncos, and I thought I had to kind of make a video and share my opinion on it. I think Adam Schefter of ESPN was the first one to report this, but John Elway has announced that he will be stepping down from his role as the general manager of the Broncos, and he'll remain the president of football operations, I believe, but the team will hire a new GM, and I guess this new GM is going to have full control over all personnel decisions, and will be a fresh face in terms of making those kind of decisions for the team. So this is very interesting, obviously on a lot of different levels. On one hand, for me, it's interesting because I've been begging for the team to let go of John Elway for, I feel like, 2 or 3 seasons now, and to now have someone that's going to come in and take over as the GM in terms of the day-to-day duties and making the personnel decisions. That excites me a little bit in terms of finally someone else will get to control the team and draft and make trades and things like that, and I think that's huge for the team. But the thing I hate about this is Elway is still the president of football operations, and I don't think whoever comes in as GM because of this, because of Elway remaining in a front office role of some sorts, I don't think they're going to have full control, so to say, over personnel decisions. I don't think that's going to happen. Elway's still going to have input, and I still think that's a big negative. And on top of that, we still kept Vic Fangio, which you can go back and look at my videos. I have a video, I think, when we fired Vance Joseph, and then I have a video when we hired Vic Fangio, talking about how I was not a fan of the hiring. And so far, I hate to be that guy, but I've been proven to be right in terms of that regard. I mean, I think Vic Fangio is now 12-20 in 2 seasons as the Broncos head coach. Vance Joseph was 11-21. So it's like, give me a break. I did not like the hiring of Fangio, and you've kind of seen why. So he's going to be back, and Elway is still going to be back as the president. I would have been fine for John Elway to stay on with the organization as like the public ambassador, and still be in like a media role and a public role, I guess, a public speaking role for the team. But him being still in the front office worries me a ton, and us still having Vic Fangio is a ton, regardless of who we add as a GM. It's great that they're saying someone's going to come in and we'll make all of the personnel decisions, but I don't think they're coming into a great position to succeed, kind of like Vance Joseph did when we hired him as a coach. So I'm not super thrilled with this, and on top of it, seeing the media in Denver and the fan base, which I've constantly criticized for being pretty delusional in terms of not only their expectations year to year and their kind of awareness of where this team is currently and the rebuilding process it's going through, but also just their defense of John Elway. They're giving him praise for this. Oh, he stepped down. He made a great move. He didn't step down at all, though. He's still the president of football operations. I think, him stepping down and completely away from the role and completely away from the front office, that would have been something, or just completely away from the team, that would have been something. But this is nothing to me. Basically, he's showing, once again, no awareness, no self-awareness, and no accountability. Basically, this move is he's going to bring someone in, and if it continues to go bad, he'll scapegoat them, and probably Vic Fangio too, and blame them for it going bad, and he'll continue to get another chance. Or if it goes right, he's going to do, like 10% of the work, and he'll get all the credit for it, not the new GM. So I think it's kind of trash, to be honest with you. I think it's just kind of, a fluff move and kind of a bullshit move that a lot of Broncos fans, because they think this team's going to win a Super Bowl every year, and they're still living in 1997, as I've said multiple times, and they owe John Elway so much for the 2 Super Bowls he won now almost 25 years ago, and the 1 Super Bowl he won 5 years ago as a general manager. People are so indebted to him, and rightfully so. He's an icon in the city of Denver, and the franchise for the Broncos, absolutely, and he deserves to be respected in that regard. But it's almost like people just take the last 5 years and take those 3 Super Bowl wins as he can do no wrong, no matter what. And it's like, the last 5 years, this guy is 32-48. as him running the show, as him as president of football operations, which he is remaining. We're 32-48. We've had, I think, one winning season. I don't think we've made the playoffs since that's, Super Bowl 50 win, which, again, that was a great win, but it's been 5 fucking years. I think people just living in the past has always been a problem for Broncos fans, and you kind of see it with Elway here. So I'm not really big on this move. I appreciate Elway, I guess, stepping down again, but it's like I don't think the new GM, again, they're going to still have to deal with Elway's input, and I think ultimately he's not going to be giving them full control. I just don't buy that for a second. And we're keeping Vic Fangio, which I think is still terrible. Again, I was not a fan of the hire, and I just don't get how he can go 12-20 in 2 seasons, and it's cool. Yeah, we're giving him another year. It's great. He's safe. We really believe in Vic. But Vance Joseph, who granted, I wasn't a huge fan of the hiring of him initially, but I at least understood it. Okay, it's a new face, CU guy, defensive mind. Let's see what he can do. He goes 11-21 in 2 seasons, and you fire him. So there's a 1-game improvement, and that's justification for not firing him. I don't know. I think that's just not a great look for our organization. I think to kind of scapegoat a black coach in that way, because I think that's what it is, and people won't call it that. And I think, again, a lot of the Denver media, the Mike Klisses of the world, they are just so delusional, and they'll defend Elway to the death and paint the picture of this organization that's always sunshine and rainbow, and we're going to win Super Bowls every year, but that's not the case. And I mean, Elway, we've seen him as a drafter. He is one of the worst drafters in history. Again, I'll link the videos I've made if you're new to this channel. The first video I've seen of mine, but if you're a subscriber, you can go back and maybe you've already watched the videos again that I made when Vic Fangio was hired, when we fired Vance Joseph, and I said you shouldn't be blaming Vance Joseph for our failures. You should be blaming John Elway. He's the one that should be getting fired. That was back in 2018. He was a terrible drafter then, and even like his recent draft success, you look at his recent drafts that have been, I think, relatively good, and I've given him credit, making picks like Cortland Sutton, getting Phillip Lindsay as an undrafted free agent, drafting a guy like Dalton Reisner, who I think's been great, and even his good picks though, like Bradley Chubb. You look at Bradley Chubb, we take Bradley Chubb when we already have Von Miller, and we take him over Quentin Nelson, who's now maybe the best offensive lineman in football, definitely probably the best guard in football, can play multiple positions when our offensive line sucks. And again, it's made some small progressions, and I like Reisner and Cushenberry, and I think Bowles has improved. I like that core, and there was some improvements this year, but it's still such a weak point of our team. And no offense to Bradley, but it's like we didn't need a pass rusher, and Elway takes him over Quentin Nelson. It's like, imagine our team with Quentin Nelson. And on top of that, this year with Jerry Jeudy in the first round, you can go back again and watch my draft preview and watch my video of when we drafted Jerry Jeudy and give him my reaction to it. Again, I like Jerry Jeudy. I think he's going to be a really good player. I think he had a solid rookie year, but I said in both of those videos, I would hope the Broncos, if we're going to take wide receiver, draft CeeDee Lamb, because I think CeeDee Lamb is better than Jerry Jeudy. And even if we don't take CeeDee Lamb, maybe, trade back and take someone like Justin Jefferson. Both those guys had much better years than Jerry Jeudy. So again, it's like even Elway's good picks, they're not that good, because he could have, took in great picks, instead of them. So I don't know. It is what it is. Broncos fans will eat this up, and everyone will be optimistic and yay Elway. But I'm pretty sick of this. I'm pretty sick of rooting for an organization that has no self-awareness of where it's at, that refuses to acknowledge that it's rebuilding, that, will fire a guy like Vance Joseph, but then justify hiring a guy like Vic Fangio and not firing him after 2 years when he has 1 win better, and still a losing record of 8 losses. I mean, what, 12-20? Vic Fangio now in 2 seasons, and it was like a linear progression. You didn't do anything. It was probably a worse hire than Vance Joseph, and then the guy running the team. And Joe Ellis is a problem as well, and the ownership problem is obviously a whole nother thing with the Broncos, and I think kind of enables this thing with John Elway. But then you got John Elway doing this thing where I'm going to step down as GM, but I'm going to remain president. It's like, no, man. Like, there's just no awareness. There's no accountability to me, and this kind of shows it. This move by Elway shows no accountability, because, again, he'll hire a GM, and if it works out, he'll do 10% of the work and take credit for it, and if it doesn't work out, he'll scapegoat them and Fangio. So I'm just not a fan of this, and honestly, I'm pretty done kind of even rooting for the Broncos at this point. You can kind of say whatever you want about that, but I'm just kind of sick of rooting for a team like this. I have no problem being bad. I have no problem struggling. I've been a fan through the struggles. You can go back to even my videos. You know, I was a fan of, you know, the years when we went 4-12. You know, before we drafted Von Miller. I've seen terrible years. I get it. You know, and I have no problem being bad. But there's a difference between being bad and knowing you're bad. You know, like Jacksonville, the Jets, they know they're rebuilding, right? And being bad and thinking you're not rebuilding, and then the problems, that the main problems of your franchise that are keeping you in this state of rebuilding, and state of mediocrity and just poor play, and season after season losing and missing the playoffs. You know, you're not getting rid of that problem, and they're taking no accountability, and they're staying, and their solution is, again, to stay in as the president, but I'm going to bring a new GM in that I can blame if it goes wrong, so or take credit if it goes right for. So I just I think this is terrible, and again, I can't root for a team that is bad with no awareness and no accountability, and won't get rid of the problem that is holding them back. So I don't know when you'll see videos of me next. I guess if I still have an audience for these videos, I'll keep making them, and I'll cover the team. Again, I would prefer to still root for the team, but I just can't root for a team. Again, we still have Drew Lock, who, you know, I had my doubts when we drafted him. Again, I laid all this out years ago, and I hate to be that guy, but it's like I laid all this out, no one listened, it fell on deaf ears, and the people that did listen criticized me, and look what happened. I literally, an idiot like me called this 3-4 years ago. And here I don't know what to say anymore with this team. No one wants to listen. There's like no common sense. There's no accountability. There's no awareness. And I'd rather root for a team that's bad and knows they're bad than a team that is bad and continues to think they're a contender and won't get rid of the guy that's the main problem, which is John Elway. And and being part of a delusional fan base like this, and again, a delusional front office, I don't know. I'm kind of good. So I don't know, if you're another NFL fan base, maybe leave a comment below to convince me to come root for your team. Maybe I'll start doing videos on your team. But nonetheless, that's my thoughts on this. Would love to hear your guys' thoughts in the comment section below. Like the video if you want. Down like it if you disagree. I totally understand. Subscribe if you like the videos. Again, I don't know if I'll be continuing to root for the Broncos, so might not be doing videos at all anymore. But again, maybe we'll continue to do videos if there's an audience for this. And you know, if not, like I said, if you're another team's fan base and a representative of that fan base, leave a comment below why I should join your fan base, and maybe I'll start doing some videos on your team. So take it easy, guys. Hopefully you had a great holiday season with your family and friends. Stayed safe as you could possibly can in these times, and are staying as positive as you can. And sorry again for my shitty iPhone work here in this video. This is about all I have. So that's it for me, guys. I guess I'll see you when I see you, and I really appreciate you watching. Stay safe, and have a great year. Make 2021 a great year, and stay positive.